Hailey, are you worried about Selena? Justin might get back with Selena and things will be over for Jaylee?
You're so lame, bro. Like, you know, all that information is so lame. It's actually crazy.
Drama between Selena, Justin, and Hailey just keeps getting more intense, and this time it feels different. Selena recently dropped her new album, and let's just say Hailey is not happy about it. But it's not the album itself, it's Justin's reaction that has her fuming. Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez's relationship wasn't just any celebrity romance, it was an era. From their red carpet appearances to their social media love notes, Yelena was a cultural moment, and even though that relationship officially ended years ago, its emotional imprint seems to linger, especially for Justin. In multiple interviews over the years, Justin never truly shut the door on Selena. Even while dating others or after marrying Hailey, he often referred to Selena as his first love. It wasn't just polite or nostalgic, it was reverent. That kind of emotional imprint doesn't disappear overnight, especially when millions of fans were emotionally invested in that relationship. Hailey, understandably, has lived in the shadow of that iconic love story. Despite marrying Justin and building a life with him, she's been constantly compared to Selena, and no matter how private or mature she tries to remain, the internet doesn't forget, and maybe neither does Justin. When Selena released her new album, I Said I Love You First, fans immediately started dissecting the lyrics. Several tracks are clearly about her past with Justin, specifically the raw pain, betrayal, and healing she went through. But what took it to another level was Justin's reaction. According to inside sources and fan rumors, Justin didn't just hear the album, he's been reportedly playing it on repeat. Friends close to him have said he's been emotionally affected, getting weirdly nostalgic. And that's not just awkward for Hailey, it's potentially devastating. Imagine hearing your husband getting emotional over songs written by his ex, songs that hint at him hurting her, songs that reflect their intimate moments. It's not just music to Hailey, it's a public confrontation with a past she thought they had moved on from. Many people thought Justin's marriage to Hailey was the final chapter in his story with Selena. It was quick, decisive, and publicly declared as his fresh start. But time has shown that just because a ring is on someone's finger doesn't mean old wounds are healed. From day one, the speed of Justin and Hailey's engagement raised eyebrows. They were engaged just 2 months after his final split from Selena. While Hailey likely believed she was stepping into a secure, committed partnership, signs keep emerging that suggest Justin's emotional ties to Selena weren't fully severed. Now that Selena is shining, thriving, and singing about her past, Justin's behavior is suggesting that marriage might have been a way to move on, not necessarily proof that he had. Selena and Benny Blanco's joint album, I Said I Love You First, isn't just an album, it's a love letter wrapped in healing. Each track feels deeply personal, blending their romantic journey with echoes of her past heartbreaks. And people are noticing that some lyrics seem to reflect directly on Justin. It's not subtle. Fans are hearing references to broken promises, public humiliation, emotional abandonment, and even that infamous moment when Justin started publicly flaunting his relationship with Hailey. Selena's lyrics aren't about stirring drama, they're about taking back her voice. For the first time in years, Selena seems unbothered, confident, and rooted in genuine love. And that's powerful, especially compared to the chaos that's unfolding around Justin and Hailey. As soon as the album dropped, Justin's social media went into overdrive. He started posting vague, emotionally intense messages about anger, regret, and wanting to change. He never mentioned Selena directly, but the timing said it all. Fans pointed out that he began sharing Bible verses about guilt, heartbreak quotes, and cryptic notes about not being understood. One moment he was posting about personal growth, the next he was hinting at being trapped or emotionally burdened. This wasn't just oversharing, it looked like a public unraveling. And Hailey, she was stuck in the middle, once again having to play the calm eye in the storm that is Justin's emotional chaos. Hailey knows the world is watching her, especially when Justin is acting out. And like clockwork, she went into full support wife mode, liking every post, commenting supportive emojis, and uploading cute couple photos. But the tone felt off. It wasn't natural, it felt strategic. It gave off strong "please look at us, we're fine" vibes, which ironically made it seem like things were not fine. Fans were quick to say she was acting more like a PR manager than a wife. The way she hovered over Justin's social media, engaging instantly with everything he posted, gave people the impression that she wasn't being affectionate, she was being careful. As soon as Selena's album dropped, Justin Bieber's Instagram turned into a journal of emotional landmines. The posts weren't direct, but they weren't subtle either. They were the kind of vague, melancholic statements that left fans reading between the lines with a magnifying glass. It started with single-word captions like processing, change, and forgiveness, paired with moody photos in grayscale. Each post felt like a whisper of regret sent into the chaos of the internet, but it didn't stop there. He began to share quotes about heartbreak, healing, and not letting go of the past, right as certain songs from Selena's album began trending. The timing wasn't just suspicious, it was practically theatrical. And this wasn't the first time Justin had been emotional online, but this time was different. This time, it looked like he was unraveling in real time, posting not to engage with fans, but to confront something inside himself. What made it more chaotic was that fans, gossip sites, and celebrity watchers were glued to every word, every emoji, every Instagram story. It became a public decoding session, a constant refresh on his page to see what clue might come next. The posts may not have named names, but they screamed history, pain, and unresolved love. And in the middle of it all, one question kept coming up: why now? While Justin was diving headfirst into a sea of cryptic emotions, Hailey Bieber was left trying to hold the image of their marriage together, one double tap at a time. Her reaction became its own spectacle, a kind of digital theater that played out post by post. Fans weren't just watching Justin anymore, they were watching her watch him. Hailey's likes and comments turned into a real-time response system, carefully curated to show that she was supportive, strong, and unfazed. When Justin posted a sad caption, Hailey would comment with a heart. When he shared a throwback or a moody selfie, she'd post an emoji, but the effort to appear nonchalant became so consistent that it started to feel forced. It was as if she was determined to be the first person to react to every post, like her presence was necessary to remind the world, and maybe herself, that she and Justin were still solid. But underneath the curated smiles and cute photos, fans sensed something else: discomfort, insecurity, maybe even fear. Because it's one thing to be married to someone, it's another thing entirely to share them with their past, especially when that past keeps showing up in the present, singing songs that make your husband crumble. Hailey wasn't just reacting to posts, she was performing stability in a relationship that suddenly felt like it was on shaky ground, and the world was watching her every move. Selena Gomez's album had its share of emotional depth, but Don't Want to Cry wasn't just a ballad, it was a bullet aimed straight at the heart of her past. When fans heard it, they didn't speculate, they knew this was about Justin. The pain in her voice, the imagery in the lyrics, and the brutal honesty all pointed to moments only she and Justin shared. Lines like "you kiss her right in front of me like I'm not even there" weren't metaphors. They were memories, broadcast moments from a time when Justin moved on with Hailey so publicly, so suddenly, that it left the world gasping and Selena devastated. The song doesn't beg for sympathy, it demands recognition. It's not about revenge, it's about truth. It exposes the emotional whiplash Selena went through, and it does so with heartbreaking clarity. No more vague references, no more silence. With this track, Selena takes control of the narrative that had been twisted by tabloids and speculation for years. It was personal, powerful, and unapologetically raw. And Justin, he heard it and he reacted, just not with words yet. If there's one thing Justin Bieber has always struggled with, it's subtlety, especially when it comes to Selena. After Don't Want to Cry started trending, Justin's online behavior shifted again. He posted a photo of himself alone on a park bench. The caption reading simply, "Still learning to let go." No names, no tags, but everyone knew what it meant, and that's how it went. Every time Selena's song gained traction, Justin responded, not with lyrics but with moods. A blurry mirror selfie captioned, "We grow through what we go through." A photo of his hand covering his face with the words, "I miss who I was." These weren't just aesthetic posts, they were digital diary entries. They spoke to regret, longing, and self-reflection. And with each one, the illusion of distance between him and Selena cracked a little more. He wasn't just feeling something, he was broadcasting it to millions, while Hailey sat next to him watching the past play out again, this time on screens across the world. Every song has a climax, and for Don't Want to Cry, it's the bridge. That lyric, "One day you're going to wake up, but all that's left is my pillow and makeup," hit like a slap across the soul. It wasn't angry, It wasn't even bitter. It was clear. Selena was no longer the girl waiting in the wings, hoping for closure or longing for attention. She was the woman who left, gracefully, painfully, and for good. The imagery of that line is unforgettable. The pillow, the makeup, it's intimate, domestic, real. It paints the picture of a woman who gave everything, stayed too long, and finally walked away. And what's worse, the person she left behind only noticed when she was already gone. For Justin, it must have stung. Maybe that's why just hours after the song trended, he posted a photo of his old tour stage with the caption, "Some nights haunt you." It was the most indirect, direct response he could have made. And yet again, Selena had spoken, and Justin had heard her, loud and clear. If things weren't messy enough, Justin went full petty with what might be the most talked about Instagram story of the year, a Lord of the Rings meme featuring Gollum obsessing over the One Ring. The caption, "Girls when they get engaged." It would have been funny if it weren't posted the day after Selena and Benny Blanco announced their engagement. The shade wasn't just thrown, it was broadcasted. Fans exploded. Some laughed, others were furious, but most saw it for what it was, a bitter swipe dressed as a joke. Coming from Justin, the timing wasn't just suspicious, it was childish. Here's a man who once wrote love songs about Selena, now mocking her engagement with a meme from a fantasy movie. And while some tried to defend it as just humor, no one missed the subtext. This wasn't about Gollum, it was about jealousy. About discomfort, about losing someone you once thought was yours forever. Behind the curated photos and polished captions, something in Hailey Bieber seemed to fracture. Sources close to the couple whispered that Hailey was no longer just frustrated, she was done. Not necessarily with the marriage, but with the embarrassment, the indirect drama, the constant reminders that she might never fully have Justin's heart. And who could blame her? She's about to start a family, trying to build a future, and her husband is having a nostalgic, emotional spiral over his ex on social media. The internet is dissecting their lives, judging her reactions, laughing at his posts, and she's forced to smile through it. Friends have said Hailey feels emotionally exhausted and increasingly isolated. She's tired of the comparisons, tired of the drama, and most of all, tired of being collateral damage in someone else's unresolved love story. This isn't what she signed up for, and every vague caption from Justin is another crack in the image of the perfect marriage she's worked so hard to maintain. While Justin seems to be emotionally unraveling and Hailey struggles to keep their life polished and presentable, Selena Gomez is soaring, her music is thriving, her engagement is the talk of the town, and for the first time in a long time, her narrative is hers alone. She isn't crying in interviews or writing cryptic captions, she's smiling, performing, living. She's sharing happiness, not heartache. And the world can feel the difference. Selena's glow up isn't just physical or professional, it's emotional. She's loved, respected, and finally free of the mess that once defined her. Meanwhile, Justin is posting from a place of confusion and reflection, and Hailey is holding her breath, trying to keep the foundation from shaking beneath them. It's a stark contrast. One has moved on, one is trying to, and one is caught in the middle, watching it all fall apart in public. The glow up isn't about revenge, it's about growth, and that's what makes it hit so much harder.